Okay, so this is the first episode of the StreetStar podcast, and where we thought, what a better way to kickstart it off than interviewing the OGs of StreetStar. So we do have Dom Sabine over in the far corner over there, taking a sip of his JD. That is JD, isn't it? Mm. And on my left, we've got the man of many voices. It is the fantastic Alex George.
Hi.
So we're going to be sort of taking it back, throwing it back. Oh, and also we have Keith. Sorry, I was going to bring Keith in at some point.
Easily forgotten by Ben, obviously.
So yeah, we're going to be taking it back to the roots and how StreetStar became a thing. So how did it all start? How did it all begin?
In a brothel.
In a brothel.
So I don't know.
I met Dom on, it was through a mutual friend of ours called Johnny Tristram.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Johnny, yeah.
And I was a presenter on the radio at the time in Spain. And Johnny was promoting himself, and he said that he had a friend that was a rapper, and came in and did an interview. And yeah, we kind of hit it off straight away. And not like that. And, next thing you know, after a few months, we were planning on doing some events in Spain, in Benalmádena, and we got to talking and both shared our love of music and sound and everything sort of related to it. And it was Dom's idea to start a recording studio in his basement.
It's kind of like skipped a whole load. Like I can't remember the timeline.
It was,
I want to know when you jumped into bed together.
that was the other part of the basement. But no, it was 2010 we met first. I think it was 2009, and we had loads of shared friends, but we'd never really bumped into each other before that. Because I was DJing in the square, and you were DJing in the marina.
Was I not in? Oh, was I in the marina at the time?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In it forever. I think it
New
was. New Wave at the time.
Yeah.
And and skipping over quite a few bits, but
Yeah, we want to hear some of the details. How it where did the name StreetStar come from? How did that come around?
So originally, me and another guy called Des set up this little thing. 'Cause obviously, we were rapping at the time.
Oh yeah, so Dom used to be a rapper, by the way. We're gonna throw that. We'll get to that soon.
He used to make beats, and he was all about like vinyl records, and we used to put these little events on that no one came to, and that was called Devious. What was it like? It was like a movement, Devious something. I can't remember. But anyway, and it was me initials, Devious, and that's all it was.
Oh, so that was the name. So that's before StreetStar was the thing.
And then I remember we were sat in a London pub in Fuengirola one night, and I was like, oh, should do a recording studio. And the thing is, me and Des was always bang on the wonga, and one like bad. In fact, it was worse when he stopped. But anyway, so we're sat in there one night, and I was like, we should do a recording studio, and we should, start doing more commercial sort of events and stuff. And it's just one of them, like, you talk about it and nothing ever materializes. And then I met Alex on the radio station, and yeah, one thing led to another. And you was going to start putting acts in places anyway, weren't you?
Yeah, and
because it was that originally it was StreetStar AGR.
That's right. Yeah, with the events
AGR
and sort of entertainment company.
Oh, okay.
Alex George. I don't know. What was
What
the
was the
R?
R? Yeah.
Robert.
Alex George Robert.
I'm not allowed to reveal too much. George isn't actually my surname.
Oh,
Okay.
Is it not? Well, 15 years I've known you.
Yeah, I've got two middle names. Yeah, my real surname is Woods.
Yeah. Why are we only finding this out now?
Yeah, because before StreetStar, before radio, it was AW.
That's right. Yeah.
AW.
Well.
When he
I was DJing drum and bass and garage back in the day.
Yeah, in London. So yeah, we met via Jonathan Tristram, and I'd just done a song with Johnny at the time, Frozen, and I think we was on there to talk about that song.
Yeah, and he was doing the jam session as well, and just doing things like that, Smile, and we were just trying to expand and get to know and just do some events.
We wanted to do something,
bookings and management of
singers, because we knew everyone. Well, you knew more than I did at the time. My parents, obviously, on the circuit over there, were singers.
Yeah.
So I knew a lot of the singers as well. And I think over there, it's one of them, like, you're surrounded by a lot of people that have got money or good at pretending they've got money.
Yeah.
And you kind of, I don't know, always wanting to better yourself over there, I think.
Yeah.
So we wanted to do this, and it didn't go well, did it? The agency side.
Not the agency, no, but the studio was. I didn't really have much of a hand in any of the labour, in any of putting it together. Really, you already had that plan.
Yeah, who was
It was your name as well.
Ian.
StreetStar was your idea as well. I think the name wasn't.
So,
I don't remember.
yeah,
getting it
no,
into-
yeah.
I remember
We
getting
just
the
put
logo
both
done.
of them together. Yeah, you got your mates to do the logo, didn't you?
Yeah.
You never changed
Oh,
that.
did you not design a logo?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, that was one of
Ah.
Alex's mates that
Yeah, I
did
did
the
a
logo.
graphic designer guy. He was one of the DJs in the sort of the crew that he was doing graphic design.
Back when he was AW.
Yeah,
Right.
and I asked him to design little something, and that's what still using it
Yeah.
now.
But originally it was StreetStar AGR. And I just wanted something that had 3 S's in
Yeah.
for me and my
Yeah,
sisters.
the alliteration as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
So it's nothing to do with swastikas.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
anyway, so I forgot. I'm digressing now. What happened? Oh yeah, so we put the agency together and combine it with offering a studio for people to come and have recordings at. And at the time, I didn't have a clue about recording because
Yeah.
I like did little bits of myself when terribly, and then we opened the studio, and you did all the sound.
Did some bits and pieces. Yeah, I remember you either had some money. Yeah, I know it was sort of pretty much all of the money you had at the time that you just wanted to push into it. And do you remember I got the computer built,
Yeah.
and then I don't know if you remember as well, but because we had the idea of the booth was bigger than this booth as well. Well, it wasn't that much.
It
Bigger,
was-
but
it was in a corner, so-
different shape,
Yeah.
slightly more. And I don't know if you remember, but I accidentally ordered 4 times the amount of the
foam.
soundproof
Material,
material.
yeah.
So it
that
ended
was
up being
sad.
outside the booth on all the walls, and
Was
Oh,
soundproofed
okay. Well,
as
get
well.
use out of
Yeah.
it. You may as well.
it worked well in the end, and we had a really good sound. Apart from when we had that microphone, what was it? Audio Technica AT20.
Yeah, and there was a little hiss as well that
like a
couldn't work
box
out.
sound.
Yeah.
Just it was a big learning curve. Like
Yeah.
the first studio was, and that was a giant. Not just in terms of running a studio, but in terms of running anything. It was where we sort of learned how this business works,
Yeah.
and we started to find out how much of a dog eat dog world it was when we was putting acts in venues, really well paid and nice venues, and the venue, the acts weren't to know. Alex was friends with a lot of the venues from working in them.
Yeah.
So they'd call Alex and say, "Oh, by the way, this act's trying to come direct, and this act's basically slagging you off," and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so we kind of knocked that on the head, and I can't remember.
When
what
was
Silly,
that?
I
That was
mean,
in
I-
2010, was it?
No,
Around
that's-
that
I
time.
mean,
Yeah, 2010.
that was the
2011.
setup. Yeah.
I get it. You know, the people just want to, if they feel like they can make an extra 20 or 30 quid, like why would you pay an agent? But it
Yeah.
backfires in the end because we would have gotten
And they didn't
loads
go
of
back
different
out again.
gigs and stuff. Yeah,
We didn't put them back out again. And it's a small coast. Like all the expats know each other there.
and we were totally upfront and honest about what we were charging and stuff. And it was
Were you doing
always,
your sort of voice acting thing back then? As well as
No,
coming
I
around
wasn't.
later on?
No, that was later on.
Later on.
Yeah. No, the production and voiceover stuff came about 2012. A little bit later
Yeah, a
on.
couple of
The
years. later. Not
first,
too
the
bad.
first instance, well, after we sort of stopped doing the agency side, we then started doing more events, didn't we?
Yeah.
I had Liquid on the square,
The club. Was
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
and then we in the down months, like in the off peak,
Yeah.
would you say? There was all the bars around the area, they just dead, like really dead. But there was enough. We noticed there was enough expat like kids and
Locals.
locals
Yeah.
to, if we was to do something, that would follow us, because we DJ all summer, both of us, and then we thought, well, we'll put us together, and then we came up with this little scheme of saying to, like, we'd go to different bars and say, right, so we can come put an event on here, and it'd be like the summer, it'd be rammed, like, and literally Thursday nights, even Friday nights, you'd have like 4 to 12 people in a bar,
Yeah.
and we would fill it like 200
Yeah.
people easy.
Yeah.
We'd
we
have
just
shot
take
girls going round, wet t-shirt competitions.
we just
flipping-
take a percentage of the bar.
Yeah, and we said, like, we take 30% of your bar take, and they're like, what? I think we charge more sometimes.
Sometimes, but they were really happy with that because
Yeah.
you know it's an incentive. It incentivized us
Yeah.
to get more
To
people
get loads
in.
of people there. So it was like, sometimes though, like Paco from Times Square, he was not happy. So we'd go there, and he had 2 tills. He was doing us over proper.
Yeah.
So we'd go and was like, yeah, 30%. He's like, oh, Dommy, you know, how can you take 30%? Yeah, he's called me Dommy. How can you take 30% of me takings? I'm like, yeah, but we brought all the people, and we supplied the entertainment, the music, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And we're like, look, we next time or next month, we'll go next door to Molly Malone's then. And, you know, you can have 100% of nothing.
Yeah.
I remember you saying to him,
I said to him, 70%
Exactly what happened.
of $7,000 is better than 100% of.
but you'd say to him, how much did the till do last night? And he was like, 400. And you said, how much did it do tonight? It's like $5,000. So,
Yeah.
well, come on then.
That's
mate.
it.
You're doing that.
So anyway, but one time we sort of saw our asses, and we did. We left and we went and did the bar behind Molly Malone's. Or did we do? No, we did
did
Molly
no,
Malone's, and we did
And we
Beer
did
Keller.
opposite as well. Did a few.
Yeah. So we just started going all over the place. And we realised, you know, people were willing in the winter months to pay us to get that amount of money in, because it was like a summer night.
Yeah. And I had an idea to do, not fancy dress per se, but we'd do themed nights.
Theme nights, right?
And my idea for that was that if we did a theme like a school disco, for example, if people came, which you
You could get away with it at the time.
yeah. And let's say we did cops and robbers. I think we did army
That's cool.
nights and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Now, if you get a load of people go out in a school uniform and they come to a place where everybody else is in the school uniform, it's fine.
Yeah.
They won't leave and go somewhere else because they'll be the only people in the school uniform in another bar.
Right.
And
And
they
look
feel
like
like
right
really
idiots.
ostracized.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they'd stay in there the whole night.
Yeah.
That was the
No,
plan
that's-
to
that's,
keep them in.
yeah.
And it
Did
worked
the army
really, really well.
army night, didn't we?
Yeah, we did a few. Yeah, but yeah, it was back in the day when you could. It didn't even seem like that long ago.
I
But
remember my
the wet
favourite one.
T-shirt competitions and stuff. Was
Yeah,
it's
that's
really
what
fun as well.
And it was good for me as well, because like I'd sort of left off the rapping side. I'd realised at this point that I was not going to make it as a rapper. I had like delusions of grandeur as a kid. I think most people do to even start rapping, but I thought I was going to be like massive and
Yeah, but you're in the papers over there, weren't you? As
yeah, like a few times.
yeah, there you go.
But
Sure.
that, like, and people knew me for that.
Yeah.
But so by this point, I thought of, you know, I'll just MC at these events. So ended up being like, we'd have wet T-shirt competitions. I'd be
Yeah.
MCing, or Alex would
That was
be.
fun.
Yeah, it was great. It was so good.
Yeah, I wasn't too confident on the mic back then.
No.
Really different now. Do you remember I was just really DJing? and
Yeah, 'cause you was
were doing
radio,
MC.
weren't you?
Yeah. So it's
I was all right. I was always okay on the
I
mic.
suppose it's a different kind of scene, isn't it? Like from radio to like a
There's
nightclub.
nobody when you're at the
There's
radio.
no one
The
there.
radio is just in
Well,
front of
that's
the
it, yeah.
microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no feedback.
Whereas
I
that
suppose,
interview, when the first time, my ass fell off. I just cannot do it. I can't. Knowing that on the other side of the broadcast,
Yeah.
there's just thousands
Thousands
and
of people.
thousands of people
Yeah.
listening, and I'm like,
Well, you never know, mate. You don't know how many people are going to tune into this, so we'll see.
I bet you got about 3 watches.
3 watches.
No, but yeah, it was good times. But yeah, my favourite themed event, Pimps and Hoes.
Of course
That
it
was
is.
a brilliant night.
It was. Yeah. It's really good. I think we did a couple of those.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And that was Benno Madna, Fuengirola. Did we do?
Yeah,
any?
we did a couple in Fuengirola
Yeah,
as
we did
well. That's
Players
right.
and Lineker's.
Yeah.
Didn't we? I don't think we did any in Marbella, did we?
I think it kind of fizzled out a little bit after a while, and then we just were concentrating more on the studio. I had 2 young children at the time as well, and
Yeah.
moved to a different radio station, and that just took up a lot of my time as well. But yeah, some of the first people we had in the studio as well some of them were really, really good.
And that was because we used to get them in for free, didn't we?
Yeah.
What is it? What did you supply in that studio at the time? Obviously, it's very different to how it is now.
Predominantly, it was just recording at the
Was-
audio
initially.
recording.
Yeah, it was sort of either a sort of a
album.
mini EP, 4-track or 10-track. But
Album package.
We do 10 tracks sometimes. We were doing it for like €10 a track. We were
Yeah.
doing
Okay.
€100 for 10 tracks.
Yeah.
CD.
But we were literally we were doing the footwork.
What's that equivalent to then?
It's about 80 quid at the time. But we
Not
were
too
doing
bad.
the footwork. We were going around bars that all the singers were singing in, and just approaching the best ones, the ones that all the other singers sort of looked up to a little bit.
Yeah.
And we're saying, "Oh, come to us in our studio, and we'll do you an album." And then once we'd done that, then the other ones were like, "Oh, we want to go and do an album there." And then we had this. There was another studio there at the time. He'll probably see this video now. Jason Rocks. Do you remember him?
Yeah,
Rock
I do.
Studios.
Yeah.
And they were slagging us off to other people, like, "Oh yeah, they popped up and don't know nothing and blah blah blah." Anyway, they closed within about 8 months of us opening it. Like,
Shut 'em down.
yeah, basically. Sorry, Jason.
To be fair, we didn't know anything.
No,
at
we
the
didn't
start.
know. We didn't even know. We didn't have a clue.
No, and I even offered. There was Jordana, who was one of our first.
Yeah.
And we even offered. I said, look, if you want to come back and re-record it, because it just wasn't.
It
the sound,
was
just wasn't even
terrible.
that
I know,
good.
And
you
it
used to
wasn't
do
her
it.
fault.
So,
It
no.
wasn't her singing.
No.
It was
Yeah.
literally like
It was just
just
the
these-
mix.
That's a learning curve, isn't it? When you
That's
start
it.
out. And,
But
Yeah.
one thing that we used to do, and like it's a complete blag, the whole thing. People used to say, "Oh, can you do this?" And he'd just go, "Yes."
yeah.
And then
Just
we'd learn
learn
after.
it, yeah. Say yes and learn.
Yeah, so
afterwards.
that started for me a few years before. I was on a radio station called Global, and they asked through at the time it was my father-in-law was working on radio, and I had never been on radio before either, and they asked, but they knew I was quite technical. I was a sound engineer before, and they asked if I could do a live broadcast for them, the tech side of it, set it up, and so I just said. Yeah. And it was a week away, and it was in a place called Buddha Beach in Marbella. They wanted to do a live 2-hour broadcast from there straight onto radio. And
Right.
within a week, I just found out how to do it. It was dongles.
You're not shitting yourself.
No, not really. No, I just blagged it. I just said, I just thought, I was just with YouTube and that, we just find out how to do it. And do you remember dongles? I don't know if that you plug into a laptop to connect
To get the
Yeah,
internet.
online. Yeah, I found out that you could get an unlimited dongle over there for €60 a month. So I went and got that Vodafone one, just stuck it in, and I ended up transmitting to a program in the studio and just broadcasting through that. And they were so impressed. And then from then, just anything that anybody wants,
Yeah.
just say,
So yeah.
yeah, well, within reason.
Within reason, yeah. Obviously,
Yeah,
within
just
your field.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
we'll just learn how to do it. And knew so many. Dom and I, between us, we knew half the coast.
Yeah.
So if there's anything like that, we could just go and ask other people.
Yeah,
Connections,
we
didn't
didn't
you?
know. Yeah, and
You used to do tattoos as well, didn't you? Under StreetStar.
no,
Was
that
that
was that was when we came over here.
Was that over here, right?
Yeah, and we never really turned it round. We never.
I know
bothered
someone
doing
out there has got the StreetStar logo tattooed on him. I've seen that
Yeah.
picture.
yeah, some girl had it done. I think we did an offer to say like whoever gets street star, and that was really
We had, do you remember? We had, an,
irresponsible because we didn't expect someone to actually do it. They went and got a street star tattoo on
we had an
it.
idea, didn't we, of having like an urban whole shop
Yeah.
that would sell records, the tattoo parlor out the back,
Right.
recording studio, graffiti. It was all in, and that was because the name as well, StreetStar, kind of fitted that
Yeah, it
whole
was an urban outfit initially.
that whole
wasn't it?
vibe. Selling clothes as well. That was
Yeah.
going to be the big thing.
Yeah.
But it's just too much, Just
Over
sort of
there at
streamlined
the
it down.
time. Might be. I mean, I think it would be a
Hats,
lot
we
easier.
were going to
to,
import hats as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
and all that.
Yeah. And we was getting this guy. So when you go on holiday, you've seen the guys that they'll print T-shirts and like I love Marbella and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. So
Proper
we had
tourist
one of
and stuff.
them, and he was doing our T-shirts like, and everything. Just we'd go to like was it Plaza Mayor
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
have them done and
Get them all street
yeah,
stuff.
go and grab a Taco Bell while the T-shirts were being made, and then try and flog them. No one bought them, but we just ended up using them. But yeah, it was good, and I think the majority of what Street Star is now stemmed from just
Yeah.
blagging.
Yeah.
But that's the story. Of my
What
life.
would you say your first sort of milestone with StreetStar was? Like, what was, maybe you had a goal with it when you first started off. Maybe you both had sort of a goal with it. Like what?
I think it was just initially, getting the brand known. People, it was a different version of Street Star,
Yeah.
but it's still a milestone to consider. And that was whenever we said we put a flyer out or an event notice or whatever. Whenever we said we was doing an event, mate, it was just daft.
Yeah.
Like, people came, and that was something to be proud of. That we could put something out with the name attached, and people were like Street Star got a party on. And
Yeah, yeah.
everyone was there.
For me, with hindsight, for me, at the events as well, you don't appreciate, if you look back at some of the photos and stuff, look back and go, yeah, we did do some really good things. But for me, it was when we had a Rat Pack tribute in, Frank Sinatra, Dean
Right.
Martin, Sammy Davis.
Yeah.
And we only had one mic and one booth. And I managed to get all three of them. And that when I got that mix down of, I was really, really happy with their album. That was, for me, was a big, I was like, oh, okay, we can do it. Like, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was good.
It was great.
So that was way back, obviously, when you were in Spain, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So what made you sort of, obviously, we get a lot of clients come in and they go, how does StreetStar start out? And you always say, oh, well, it started off in Spain. Blah, blah, blah. A lot of people just are shocked by that. So why the move? How come you moved from Spain over to StreetStar? Over to the UK with StreetStar.
I think it was a concoction of things put together, and Alex had a couple of kids, and I was having issues with my girlfriend at the time, just wasn't happy, as you get. And then, what was it? We had to move the studio, didn't we?
Yeah, you had to move out of the house,
Yeah.
and
And the studio moved to the radio stations.
oh yeah, of course,
FM,
yeah,
was it?
Spectrum, yeah, in Estepona.
Yeah.
What was that in
And
Spain?
Mm.
Yeah.
That sort of alleviated a bit of my role within, because I didn't do much at the time. I just got people in,
Yeah.
like as much as I could have sort of brought people in and
When you did all the
and
work.
pay for it. You did, you did. We had a little bit of a, not an argument, but like it was like he turned around to me one time and said, "Do you know? Because I do everything. Don't you think I should get the bigger cut? Because we should split everything." Do you remember?
You up, though.
Oh right, was you, mate? Till this day, it stuck with me, and I thought, bastard. Right, well, yeah, but he
you
did.
bought
He
all
did
the studio.
He did most. Yeah, he did all the sort of mixing and stuff. I started designing. I was doing the CD covers for people.
I remember
We got-
those.
Yeah, the posters, and we got we then sort of bringing other people on board, and Alex was producing sort of in-house music for when we did events, so that we could play our own tunes, and we'd get singers in. You had a couple of girls in. I'm sure it was just for the music, but yeah.
So you produce your own sort of music as well?
Oh, yes,
I
producer.
did, yeah, I did a little bit.
Yeah.
Did?
House.
I did. No, it was at the
Drum
time
and
it was dubstep.
Oh yeah, dubstep.
Yeah, it was popular then. When it had that
Dubstep,
little few years of popularity. Yeah, well, I started off as a drum and bass DJ, so I had my, I liked electronic music for a while, but
So we brought these other people on board, and they were a bit unreliable, let's say. So we got this Dan Nielsen. He joined up as a photographer. It's always the photographers that let
It was
you
this
down.
back in Spain, was this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had our first big sort of job, and it was through his, at the time, wife's sister, wasn't it? Who, what did she do? She was like, was it Go-Go Girls? Some Go-Go dancers sort of thing. And they'd booked in to have like 20 of them having photo shoots. And the first one came, and it was absolutely chucking it down at the time. It was the middle of winter, I think, but it was chucking it down. She's been to the salon and had her hair and her makeup done. She gets to the studio, luckily with an umbrella, I think, and the photographer's not there. I'm away somewhere. I can't remember where I was at the time. I think I was with you, though. But I remember getting a call.
I think I would have been there.
I remember getting a call from someone saying that they're outside the studio and the photographer's not turned up. So I'm trying to call Dan, and I'm like, well, he's in bed. He'd been on it the night before and just not got up.
Right.
Right. And it was like the biggest job we'd had up
Yeah.
till that point. And yeah, photographers. Bastards. So yeah. Anyway, then after that, I think we just started focusing more on the event side
The
of
event side, yeah.
StreetStar. I was still recording my own music at the home studio, because this studio was like, we had the villa upstairs, and then it's like an annex
Yeah,
apartment downstairs that
it's like
we
a
converted.
self-contained.
Yeah,
Kind of. I say it wasn't really basement. That's because it was on the ground
Yeah.
floor, but the villa was above it.
Yeah.
So,
and then we converted all that, and so we could still sort of do little bits, and we had people come over via the event side of things. We was working with like Niche, the guys from Niche, and
That's right.
DJ Q came over, and what's her name? That Fox, Megan? No, not Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Different Fox.
Yeah, I can't remember
remember.
now.
That Big Anged came
Yeah,
over,
Big Ange.
Sean Banger Scott, and these were all big names at
names,
the time. And I was like, if we had this in England, and we both agreed at the time, if we had it in England, you think of all the people that we've got coming here with the limited supply of English people, because we didn't really cater for the Spanish. Just didn't come. They had their own studios, I suppose, that were a lot better than ours.
It's a different scene out there as well, though, isn't
As
it?
well, yeah. We thought, if we took it to England, it'd just blow up. And it did.
And it did,
Like,
yeah.
Sort of. Not initially, So I remember the morning, you took me to the airport, didn't you?
Yeah.
The morning that I left Spain,
You-
Alex come and
you
picked me
upset?
up and took me to
You
the
crying?
airport. I had a bacon butty. And yeah, because I was only coming over temporarily. Like, I was
Yeah.
coming over because initially I wanted to set a studio up, but I also wanted to join the army. And
Did you?
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
signed
know
up to the army and everything. Yeah, and what else? And I went to uni as well to get a qualification in studio engineering and music, basically, so that eventually I could go and make brews for someone in a studio. So I dropped out of that pretty soon when I realised I'd be in debt. And I was still going over back and forth to Spain quite frequently, wasn't I?
Yeah.
And I was saving up money. I was going over to Spain on weekends and DJing, then coming back to the UK and working on the studio. We found a unit in a mill in Stockport, and I was back and forth to Spain just trying to save up money there was points where I'd saved up a load of money, 10 grand I'd managed to save, and I hid it in my wall in the house. And at the time, I'd had my best mate from the UK staying with me. And I don't know, I think through my time in Spain, I changed a lot from when I was an adolescent, when I was younger. And I just assumed that everyone else does. But no, so he robbed me. He took the 10 grand out the wall and ran off with it. And then I sort of struggled then. To try and get the studio up and running, and I was in a bit of a hole. I had to decide. I remember one day, I had to decide whether to get RAM for the studio recording computer or to buy a food shop. I'm weighing it up. I'm like, well, do I need to eat? And then another time I was getting monitor. I sold all my stuff and I had a little flat. And I had my Xbox and my telly. I remember selling my Xbox and my telly to go and buy something else for the studio. And it's just, at the time, it was a struggle. But then met Lisa. Well, I didn't meet her. Lisa and I got together. We went to school together.
Yeah.
And primary and nursery and everything. It was mad. And then we
Obviously,
ended up
Keith
getting
is
together.
Lisa's
Yeah.
dad.
Keith,
He's been
me,
sat there
father-in-law.
silent ever since. He's got
Dead silent.
I've been
got to
waiting
get him
for this
involved
bit.
somehow.
Silent assassin.
Wait for this bit. With his glasses, I wanted to sit with me. I got my glasses on. You let him sit with his glasses on.
Well, why do you think he needs his glasses on?
The lights are too bright.
For those who don't know,
Yeah, Keith is blind.
he's visually impaired.
That's a bit more than that.
But that's a politer way of saying it, Mr.
It is,
Bailey.
yes.
Thank you.
You're
Is
welcome.
it? I did not know. I did not know that.
Going back
Oops.
to obviously the
Every time we go anywhere, I'm like, he's blind.
yeah. I'm pretty sure it's a dead giveaway with the walking stick as well. But
I still think he puts it on.
yeah. Well, that's in the old studio.
So
I'm telling
when
you.
when I eventually realised that the studio wasn't getting anywhere, I got with Lisa. The bank of Keith came with her. So so Keith ended up sort of helping me out financially, and he built the whole place.
Yeah,
he built the whole studio.
He built it, didn't he?
Yeah, everything.
That's not the reason why I think he's at it. I remember the first time I met you, Keith, was at Dom's birthday party. And
Oh, yeah.
you would greet women by going, "All right, no, I don't know you."
Are you a girl? Yes.
Yeah, he's not blind.
Yeah, it's pretty odd. I'm going to have to pinch that off you.
Yeah.
But so when that, long story short, there's a point of this podcast in it to go over the story. I suppose.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean, how it started off, and then obviously, so we got going back to the old studio in Stockport, obviously the big mill. That's when I obviously joined the team at some point.
Yeah, you was. How old were you then?
19 years old.
I thought you were 17.
Oh, maybe I was 18.
No,
Well, I'm 26 now.
26 now. You worked with us for 8 years now.
8 years.
Yeah, so yeah, 18.
You'd be 18.
Didn't have a clue about filming. Just knew how to video edit, and that was it.
Yeah, you
And
only
then,
did that by accident.
yeah,
He
I
went
still
to
don't know what I'm
college-
doing.
He went to college to do Photoshop and then didn't like it.
It's
and
graphic
ended
design and
Yeah, graphic
photography,
design.
and I could not stand Photoshop. Like I could not wrap my head around the layers.
up- Ironically, I can't stand Photoshop.
So I went over to music videos. So that's what I did in college, and then obviously met Dom. But yeah, so that so you moved over to the UK. But do you know what year it was when you built that Stockport studio? How many years ago was that now?
What was that?
Because I think when
That
I
was in,
2014, 15.
2014
Right.
is when, late 2014 is when Lisa asked me to come and
help out.
pop
So
down to the studio
was it, yeah.
because they were having trouble shutting a few doors.
and then it turns out you
And,
ended up building the old place.
When I went down to the studio, it was just more than a few doors.
Yeah.
The bar was pieces of 3x2 strung across walls, and the walls were grey and black.
Yeah.
Some of you might remember the old
basic.
studio.
It was basic, the first version of it.
Yeah.
It was.
It was. Do you know what though? I missed that. I do miss
we
that
built
place.
the bar.
No, but this is before. So the first version
yeah.
of that studio was literally the walls. We built the bar and the booth, and we got it to a point that we was.
The booth was already built when I turned up.
Remember filling the
Just
cavity?
couldn't do the shut the door properly.
That was it. Yeah.
And the office door. So we got we got the door sorted out, and we then turned the attention to the bar. All the walls were all done in 3x2 and silk material, black silk,
Just
all the way down.
proper fire hazard.
And that's where I think the tattooing was going to happen.
Ah.
But for a tattoo parlour, you need running water.
Yeah. That was the issue.
And
We didn't have
that was the issue. We couldn't get
Right.
water from one side to the other.
But the first version of that studio was intended to be what Alex and I had wanted to do in Spain with the, the clothes, the tattooing, the everything urban sort of hub
Yeah.
all under one roof. And then that just sort of, because initially we just had rappers go in there and like proper like basement DJs and stuff. And that booth, the very first booth, the cavity of the wall was that guy that nicked the money out of my wall. He left all his clothes, obviously, so I used that to fill the
Use his
walls.
clothes.
Yeah, his clothes filled the cavity in the recording booth walls for the soundproofing. So I was poor, like literally. So I was like, well, at least he contributed something.
That'll show him.
Yeah.
Speaking of what, I don't know, it's just made me remember one of the last things that we recorded in the studio in Spain was, you remember this, is a woman called Laura Ellen. She still lives there. She's a great singer. She won an award a few years ago, best singer on the coast. And she wanted to come and record just a handful of demos for weddings. So she recorded like Piezu and a couple of others. And beautiful voice, really like angelic. Yeah. And at the time, I shoved loads of reverb on as well, really swirly reverb. Yeah, but for that especially, she wanted it to sound like she was in a church.
Oh,
So I
right,
put
I
it on,
see.
right?
Yeah.
We recorded it. Kind of turned out really well. She's a really fantastic singer. And one of the songs, the last one she sung was Ave Maria. And then she went off. She was fine. The next day, I wasn't there, but the next day, Dom got... the studio was in a place called Torremoye, and it's quite an affluent area. The villa was nice. And Dom lived, I think it was a semi-detached, so there was a villa right next to it.
Yeah.
He got a knock on the door the next day from the Spanish family next door, and they came and they were like, "Thank you so much." Dom was like, what are you talking about? She went, "Well," and Spanish families have a tendency to live together. They all live together.
Right, okay.
Their mum was on her deathbed downstairs in the sort of annex of their villa, right next the other side of the wall of the studio.
Yeah.
Her name was Maria, and she died
Really?
that
Listening.
night,
What the
listening
odds of
to
that?
Ave
Ave
Maria.
Maria. And
So
they
this-
came round.
she,
They-
and
yeah.
she came around and said thank you so much. She thought it was an angel taking
Wow.
her to
It
heaven.
was an angel
yeah.
taking her.
Yeah,
Maybe
Well, that's a lovely gesture, isn't it?
maybe it
well,
was.
maybe there
It was
was
meant to be.
something there.
In that sense,
She
She
was
had
meant
like
to record
yeah,
that
and
at
she
the
had
same time.
like the perfect send off. She was smiling, she was
Amazing.
happy, and
Yeah.
she
They
went
were
to
like,
heaven.
The
like,
Spanish
yeah.
family, they're like, we couldn't have imagined any better.
Yeah,
Like, obviously, they were still upset.
yeah. Thanks,
but-
Laura, if you're listening.
Yeah. Did we ever tell her?
I don't know
We
if
must
we
have
did.
told her.
Yeah.
And it was
I
at
can't
that
remember
moment
that.
then that you knew that you should start doing funerals.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'll do weddings now.
Yeah,
well, that's it. Same
They do
thing.
weddings. Yeah, so, yeah.
For some,
I do 70% off for divorces. But yeah, sorry to interject, but yeah.
no,
just
no,
made
it's
me
a good
think
memory.
about
I totally forgot really about that.
So when did the sort of filming came on? Obviously, it says there on the screen, publicity, film, and media.
Yeah,
But you didn't start doing
well,
the filming, did you?
So that first version of the studio didn't work. There was people that were involved with me initially, friends from school when I went to school here. I had one of them, new people that I'd met. I got signed to a record label when I came back here for my music. Say a record label, they were like a management arm. They were terrible. And then they saw what I was doing. That's probably why I got the deal in the end, really, because they wanted to get into the studio. I don't know. But anyway, and the deal was that we worked the same way Alex and I did, but we didn't have the same sort of chemistry between me and those people. that, and they were all about the money. I wanted to do the studio because I had a passion for what it was about and music in general. So, you know, at the beginning of any business, and any business owner will tell you, you don't make money. You know, you put in the hours, you graft, or you get your father-in-law to graft, and the money comes later. But none of them could wait for that. So I found that I think the rent was like 600 quid at the time, and you know it was split between us, and before long it was just me.
Yeah.
It gutted in the end, but anyway, it was just me, and then the money started coming in. You know, because I wasn't relying on other people to do their jobs. I then started doing everything. I was there from 7
You look
in
at
the
me
morning.
for.
I was there when we'd go at 7 o'clock in the morning,
We were there early in the morning, and
and I'd spend 3-4 hours promoting, sending out different offers, and you know I was doing recordings and a photo shoot, like 5 audio tracks and a photo shoot for 99 quid. That's medal.
You're doing events
mental.
and showcases
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah,
aren't
we're
you, as
doing
well, there?
stuff like that,
On
and that's when we
stage.
had the material walls. Anyway, so this went up probably a year. We had, you know, we were sort of building the kitty up, and then I think it was you'd had enough of the studio as it was, wasn't it?
yeah, but we'd also been looking at once we'd had that first event,
Ah, yeah.
the toilets weren't ideal because you had to walk out the studio, down a long
Miles
corridor,
away.
through doorways, down
the
another
ones,
long
the ones that
corridor.
were there last time.
We built them.
Oh, see,
They
you mean,
were,
so
they
before
were
them,
right
was
to
it
the other
built?
side of the mill,
It's a bit
which wasn't
inconvenient, isn't it?
convenient,
Yeah.
which I relate to Dom. Ideally, we need our own toilets. So maybe we move studios, and luckily they agreed at the mill we could have the outside area, and we decided to we built the toilets for our next event, which was absolutely brilliant. But then we needed to do a total refurb because of fire regulations.
And that's
The
when you
silk
came.
walls.
That was when I came, was it?
That's I think
Before.
just before that was done.
So
I remember,
got rid
I
of
remember
them
sewing
gut
there, and
walls.
the toilets were there.
Yeah.
So I remember the spicy wallpaper.
Yeah, we had that was a little nod to my ex. That my ex
Was it? Oh,
yeah,
dear.
she was a pole dance stripper, and so we put this. Did you see the toilets?
I
in the
don't
house?
think so.
Yeah, so we put this strip of wallpaper up. I'm only joking. It wasn't really a nod to my ex. It was just cheap at B&M's at the time.
Yeah, you
I'm
remember
like,
the
who's-
pink,
who's-
pink little, it was like
Yeah,
little tiny
little
women
pink
dancing
girls
and, like,
on
It was like
poles.
something you'd see in a.
But everyone used to come out the
word
toilets
for it.
going, "I like the wallpaper." in there."
Like a brothel house or something. Not that I've ever been one. Mum.
So we'd managed to get to that. Was another sort of milestone. We'd made enough to decide it was a good idea to refurb the whole studio, and we closed for 21 days, wasn't it? 21 days it took, and we had with us at the time there was myself, Keith, Ryan Harrison was there, wasn't he? Luke.
He'd just started, yeah.
Luke Rothwell. Was Ben there? Ben Folds?
Yeah, Ben was, because I remember he was doing little bits like in the office. a lot.
Yes, he was.
I remember you telling me that it was I don't want to say a risk, but I remember you I remember you saying like we got a shop for 3 weeks, and I just really hope it's going to be worth it.
Yeah.
It was a little bit like a make or break at the time.
Yeah, it was. It was
to lose
heavily.
3 weeks of work was
Yeah.
really like it was a
Because it
risk.
had to come straight back.
Yeah, in order
Because
to
otherwise, I wouldn't.
We
have been
doubled
able
the
to-
size of the stage. All 10-foot solid walls went up with fireproofing plasterboards.
Yeah,
And
but at the time, it was a case of like spending everything on doing it up, and then hoping it worked to get it back.
Yeah.
And it did. It was great. And you know, we had Steve Candy who was doing the photography.
Steve Candy, yeah.
We had Ryan Harrison. I don't actually know what his role was at the studio.
Well, I remember we had a case that said Ryan DJ.
He told us he was a DJ.
Yeah, told you he was a DJ,
That was
yeah.
it. Yeah,
He did.
originally
He
he
did.
said he came in and he brought us this fridge, this little beer fridge thing. And he's like, "Do you want this?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay, cheers, mate." Didn't know him. He was with a gardener. He was doing some landscape gardening at the time, and he's going that he was like, "Yeah, I'm a DJ, and me and my cousin DJ at this place down the road, and it was only around the corner from my house at the time." So me and Lisa went, "Should we go?" We went in, And he wasn't the
He
DJ.
wasn't the DJ.
He was stood next to the DJ. Like, his cousin was DJing, and his cousin wasn't even a DJ. He was a karaoke host. So, sorry, Luke, you know. But
I like
that's what
Ryan,
it
though.
was.
I thought he was alright.
Yeah,
Come
he
and-
was.
He come and stayed. Yeah. He come and stayed at my
Yeah,
place.
he was
in-
alright.
Yeah,
in Whangarella.
yeah, we didn't really have a choice. Jesus, that was another story. But anyway, so yeah, there was us at the time, and we got this refurb done, and it was great. The floodgates opened when we opened up.
Simon
Again.
I mean,
Simon Hall, he was
Simon
there, yeah,
Hall.
as a producer and a studio
Yeah.
engineer. We've been through so many different engineers on the audio side. Could never find another Alex, but so I ended up having to do it myself, which 10 times better. So
yeah.
than anyone else. Sorry,
Well, you're
and
a bit of a jack of all trades, you mastering on, aren't you?
yeah. Oftentimes better than a master of one.
Yeah.
So then the video, to answer
Yeah.
your question about 10 minutes
The
ago,
film.
the video side, came from, well, we can't make any money out of the rappers. My parents are singers. They come and did a bit of recording. We found that this is before the refurb, and the refurb was predominantly for the event side, and because we found our niche, we'd found that offering promo packages to singers and entertainers was lucrative. So,
Yeah.
and that was via a couple of people that we'd had in before that had seen that we do video, and it was Luke Rothwell that was doing the video. And then one day we had a singer in doing an Amy Winehouse sort of tribute, and
Do you remember
he's
who
on the
that
phone.
was?
Yeah, she was part of. No, I can't remember. Her name. Do you remember the girl from Liverpool that does this? Cilla Black, Victoria.
I know
Victoria
who you're
Jones.
about. Yes.
So it was one
yes.
of her friends, not Nicola Twardowski, but she was in that clan. She was
Yeah.
with those. And
Wasn't
she was,
Marina Coombs, was it?
No. She did the same at Winehouse anyway, and we didn't let on, but he was on the phone to his girlfriend at the time, Luke, and it was all kicking off on the phone. I don't know what was going on. He had problems at home. And he just walked out, just literally
Luke
midday.
did?
Yeah, just before we was due to film. She was in recording. She was having her audio done or her photos, and just before she was due to have the videos done, he left and didn't come back. And I'm like, what? Now, me and Harrison were left there, and I think Steve was doing the photos.
Yeah, I wasn't there at that point, was I?
No. And I remember I knew which button he pressed to press record on the camera. We had one camera at the time. We just did one shot there, one shot there, one shot there.
Yeah, three
or
standards.
4 times for each song. And I was like, right, just don't say anything and we'll do it. We'll just do it. And he's like, what about the edit? I'm like, well, hopefully he'll be back, but if not, then we'll have to learn. And that's what we did. She got on stage and we pressed record and that was it. And then that day, while she was still there, actually, I think she was getting changed. We offloaded all the footage. I typed in on YouTube, on Google, what's the easiest video editing software? And it came up with Sony Vegas and blah, blah, blah.
Sony Vegas, really?
Yeah. Downloaded that and
Movie maker.
Maybe that's what I mean. That's what I didn't
Yeah.
mind. The free ones.
and then whacked her footage in, and I just started just figuring it out, editing, and then that was
Remember
it.
that was
Then.
at the time you were sending me some stems as well. It's like, can you just mix this down for me and
Yeah,
then send it
yeah,
back?
because
I'm
I
doing
wasn't
the
that
video
I wasn't
as
that well versed on the audio. Audio is something that I learned last, I think. The first thing, I was always about making my own music and
Yeah.
getting someone else to record me. It's hard to record yourself from inside the booth, but we did accomplish that at one point.
Yeah.
And so the mix and master side, I'd never had any interest in learning. Never
Yeah.
mind, having to do it. But that's just what I did. I learned off you, didn't I? Just watched when he was mixing my stuff or other people's.
Did you learn off?
I just kind
I
of
just blagged it.
Yeah, just taught myself. There was a guy called that taught me how to sound engineer. So I started sound engineering in 2005. I was a lighting engineer first of all. Again, in a place in a hotel in the big. There's a place called the Moonlight in Sunset Beach Hotel, sort of 400-seat venue, and there was a Rat Pack show. Funny enough, which was the same guys that we ended up recording, and a musical show. And it was just something that had always interested me. And they were looking for a lighting engineer. And I was like, yeah, I can do it. Went down to started doing the lighting. And then I was obviously, as a DJ before, so I was really interested in the sound. And I went on to get some qualifications to be certified sound engineer. However, studying for it is one thing.
Do you remember the little bit of fraud we committed over there?
Yeah, with some fake certificates, yeah.
Cut this out.
Some
No, I'm not bothered. You get away with anything in Spain.
Photoshop certificates and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did actually go on and do some
Yeah.
proper stuff. But the on the job training is, in my opinion, is just far superior. Just watching somebody do it and then taking up for sound engineering as well, live sound engineering.
You got to have an
for
ear
me.
though.
You do have to have an ear for the mix, for the general mix, and you got to know frequencies. You got to know what's, especially if this with the Rat Pack, it was a full live orchestra, so it was a 15-piece orchestra.
Yeah, that's just got to be really difficult, though, I imagine.
Yes and no. It's as when you start, if you can see the audio, if you can visualize the audio spectrum, then you just got to know where the highs are, the mids are, and the lows, really. And once you can sort of, find out and panning sort of left and right for the stereo effects and stuff, a lot of sound engineering is having that ear and removing a lot of mid sounds. A lot of instruments sound very MIDI, very muddy as well. Once you just eliminate those and get a nice balance. But the main part I found, once you've done that a few times, it's easy.
Yeah.
The main part is just problem solving. There's always problems. There's always a cable broken, a mic not working properly, even batteries faulty, whatever it may be. You just got to go through the process, and you don't learn those things necessarily in college or wherever. You learn, you'll learn how to spectral analyze, and you'll learn frequencies and those things and dynamics and acoustics. But those things kind of fall by the wayside when you're actually live sound engineering. It's just problem solving.
You've got to have
and I really
the
enjoy
gift
it.
of the blag right there. I think it's experience.
Yeah.
I know with video editing, I pretty much taught myself how to do that in college. They didn't really teach you much.
No.
I had the teachers asking me how to teach them.
Yeah,
how
it's
to
just
do
the
stuff.
more and more you do it, it's the fewer the problems become because you know how to solve those problems.
Yeah.
So then you eliminate those problems before they even become a problem. And with the recording in the studio, it's the same sort of thing.
That was one of the reasons I left college. So as I said, I came to do the army and go to uni. So I found that they were trying to, go the long way around teaching things and say, this you've got to do. I can't think of an example, but basically they were trying to teach us things that now DAWs and programs have buttons for.
Yeah.
Just a button. I don't need to know what goes into that button's workings. I just need to know the outcome.
Yeah.
And on everything, like universally, there's a button for that. And they were trying to teach it, and it just seemed like a right waste of time.
There's a big difference as well, between sort of sound technician and sound engineer as well. You've got to separate those things as well.
So what's the difference then?
Well, the sound engineering, you do need to understand a bit of electrical engineering and a bit of just basics, how to solder a cable and what points are going wrong and things like that. Whereas the sound technician is more just the live teching of it and the production stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, shortly after after that day when he just did one, we didn't have him back. And usually, like with myself, we've got like a 2-strike thing at least. People can let me down twice, but not a third. But that was just too big, and was like, no. Not only that, but I think he got in trouble with the police over something, didn't he?
Not long after,
Something to do with drugs. I can't remember, and I don't know too much, and I've never really asked. But he sold us the camera, so the camera belonged to him that we were using, and we bought it off him in the end, and one thing led to another. Then that's when your brother came in for his promo one time,
Matt Bailey.
Yep.
I knew he'd come in conversation at some point.
and we got really friendly, and next thing you know, really friendly.
How close?
Next thing you know, he's telling me, "Well, my brother's doing like media and that," and and that's when you came in and you started doing a bit of
Could you give him a bit of work?
Yeah, a bit of work. Yeah,
it was just editing, though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was. Yeah,
and then we sort of were like, no, you can help out with the video inside. We bought more cameras.
That's it. I remember my first time that you did that. You left me on the own in the studio with
Dave
Dave Cantliff. Yeah, it was Dave Cantliff, and it was just one video, 3 angles, 4 angles, first take. Yeah. But I remember I was panicking a little bit because I was on my own. I was like, I don't know, what if I mess this up? This is it's not my first client kind of thing.
Censoring himself there.
Yeah.
Mess this up.
Yeah. But yeah, now it's like doing the teaser trailers and it's like bang, bang, bang. You just kind of, it's like second nature now.
It's growth, isn't it?
So you went from making the teas
Wait,
to
well,
making the teaser
no. To be
trailers.
fair, I wasn't even. I mean, I'd make the teas. I still do that now for clients.
Yeah, yeah. To be fair,
So,
yeah,
so
not
the other
just
one who
you,
offers on the teaser. Anyone coming in for a teaser trailer, so it's always gonna be me offering the brews first.
Tray of teas. Or a
Trailer,
teaser trailer.
Teaser trailer.
Yeah.
What would I say?
Tray of teas. Joking.
Does that?
No.
No, because
Yeah.
but I mean, I feel like I've learned a lot since being at StreetStar. Anyway, from when I've been here for 8 years. I was just a young little whippersnapper. Didn't know how to do anything other than a little bit of video editing. Then I learned a bit of photography.
You hated that though, didn't you?
Yeah, but it's not that I hated it. I didn't sort of understand what it was I was doing, and so it was more. You know, what if I did it wrong? Like,
Yeah, and I don't think you liked it. You
And
just
yeah,
didn't
it's
like
not-
it. So
if
if
photography
you don't
wasn't
like
really my
something,
thing.
you're not going to want to pursue it to learn it more.
It's like, yeah,
But I think in terms of when you sort of came to StreetStar and as just a video editor to going on to video, I think not technical ability aside, just as a person, I think you've had a lot of growth over the last 8 years as a person. I mean, I'm not saying it's anything to do with us, but I do think it's contributed to you and being able to sort of speak to people how you do.
yeah. Because I mean, other
deal
than
with people.
working in retail, there was that. But I mean,
Yeah, because
it's
at
not really
retail,
people
you
skills,
worked
is
at
it?
One
Yeah,
Stop, you
worked
got,
at One
you got
Stop.
sacked from One
I
Stop.
got sacked from One Stop. But
But I
we'll
know
save
you had
that
to
for
do
another
there was
time.
like, all right, mate. So that's it, yeah. Beep, cheers,
Yeah.
bye.
That's it. It's
That's
not
how-
really people skills, is it?
No.
But but yeah, no. I feel like I've learned a lot since I've been here.
So that's when video came in.
Yes,
anyway.
when video came in.
And
Yeah.
then after that, we just sort of blagged it. And then,
But that's what sort of StreetStar's known for, isn't it? It's the film.
I thought you meant
Media
blagging
it's
it.
now.
You
Yeah,
are?
blagging
You
it.
meant blagging it. That's what StreetStar's known for.
Yeah, StreetStar's known for blagging it with the film and media. No, but like I said,
We had a good role then for a bit, and then I found that I was getting pulled more and more into shooting photography and video outside of the studio for event companies. We started doing a lot for the Cheshire Socialites, or the Cheshire Club as they're known as now. Housewives, we were doing bits for like the Symposium in Wilmslow, and just PR companies that worked with celebrities and stuff. And I loved that. And it got me out of the studio. This studio that we was in had no windows. It was just
It was horrible in the winter, wasn't it? You get there,
Yeah,
you get there when it's dark. You leave when it's dark.
Well, the biggest one was the holiday part, wasn't it?
Oh,
The
yeah.
Vale holiday
Yeah,
part,
yeah, we
which
went
was brilliant.
Yeah, filming promo. And that was our first real instance of supplying promo to a business rather than to a single entity, like a singer. And we was doing event videos and stuff like that. So after we'd had a taste of like Vale holidays, I mean, we were blacked out as well, but after we'd had a taste of the kind of money that was involved with commercial shooting, that was me then. I was like, right, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I wanted to open a bar. So we'd had the bars in Spain, like all the DJ inside, and I sort of missed it. So I wanted to get back into nightlife. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to find someone to run the studio into the ground. someone to run the studio, and I'll go and try and find a bar and focus on outbound stuff. And we did, and well, it took ages, 2 years, 18 months. We found a place after 18 months, and we was signing the contract for it, while you were left on your own at the studio with Harrison and Chris Jackson. Well, Harrison left, didn't he, actually?
I was in left. Yeah, after a
Him
bit,
and
after a
Chris
few
didn't
months.
get on, did they?
No, not at all.
But yeah, so 18 months, we found this place in Hazel Grove, and we was literally about to sign the contract on this venue. It was a bank, and we were going to turn it into a club.
Yeah.
And then COVID lockdown hit.
Yeah, you were just about to sign it, weren't you, the day before or something?
No, we were due to sign it on the 27th or 24th, I can't remember. And then we went into lockdown on the 24th.
Yeah, that was it.
So I was due to sign it on the 27th of March, 2020.
20.
And then lockdown happened, and I didn't sign it, and I was like, thank God, because if I'd have signed that, I was in a contract then with this I can't remember who the people were that were taking it off. But anyway, we would have been in a contract, but because I wouldn't have been signed up for rates via the council, I wouldn't have got any help or alleviation off the rent or anything, and I'd have still been liable for the 5-year contract. I would have had to pay to bankrupt me. Studio would have gone. So luckily we hadn't signed it, and the studio closed down. Now, throughout the whole of the lockdown, but because of the studio was all legit, the council gave us these grants that they were giving out to businesses at the time. I think it was 10 grand, was it?
Something like that, yeah.
So they gave us like 10 grand. And then that came in and then went straight back out to Roger Hannah's, I don't know whether I'm allowed to name them because I'm about to slag them right off. That went straight out to Roger Hannah's to pay for the rent on the studio, because I didn't know when we was. And I had a feeling like Boris and all that kept saying, "Oh, we'll be out of lockdown soon," and blah blah blah. Just a few
2
more
weeks to stem the curve.
Yeah, that was it. And I knew it was just kind of. It was a year, like. So it's a good job. We paid the rent up front for a year. And then again, like sort of came out for a little bit out of lockdown, and we went back and we just started doing commercial stuff. We was doing like lingerie shoots for, what were they called? Who are they?
Wasn't.
Who's that? Ann Summers. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Ann
we was doing
Summers,
like
yeah,
Ann
yeah.
Summers stuff, and the bobbies come round one
Yeah.
day. The police came round, knocked on the door, and there's these two girls on the stage with a pole, and the photographer's there, and got the smoke going and coloured lighting, and they were in cupless bras and crotchless thongs and all this. If anyone can hear that, my daughter's in the background crying. But yeah, so, and I saw on the CCTV, I'm in the office, I wasn't doing the shoot.
Yeah.
I'm in the office and I saw on the CCTV, there was about 8 police people outside the front door, and I'm like, fuck. So anyway, I'm like, don't answer that door. I saw the photographer wander over and open the door. I'm like, no, he's come walking back to me. And he's going, the police are here, they want to see you, don't. I'm like, I know, I've just seen him on the CCTV. So I walked over, and when I'm nervous, I sort of, like, I don't know, I've had the shit kicked out of me and I just laughed, right? But when I'm nervous, I just sort of get giddy.
Yeah.
But because he caught me on the back foot, I must have come across really cocky.
Yeah.
So I've sort of gone over, all right, officers, what can I do you for? And they're like, what's going on here? Then I went, what's it look like? And they were like, I'm like, we're doing a photo shoot. No, that was it. He goes, no, what's going on? I'm like, photo shoot? And he goes, yeah, what kind of photo shoot? I'm like, I'm not obliged to say.
Were you
Just
not
like,
obliged to say as well?
No, don't have to. I'm like, I'm not obliged to say. And they're like, yeah, but what kind of... I'm like, they're professional models with a professional photographer in a professional photography studio doing a professional shoot. We're allowed to do it. I've got paperwork in the back, which I can show you if you want. But like, they were like, are you not aware that we're in a lockdown? I'm like, it's kind of hard to miss. Do you know what I mean? I'm really cocky. And it wasn't because I'm a cocky. I'm not. It's because I was nervous and it just coming out wrong. And this woman had a bee in her bonnet, like this girl, little piggy.
WPC.
She was, yeah, that's the one. She was having a right. She was not happy, and it's because there was 2 proper fit birds on the stage with their tits out, basically. And that's what she didn't like, you know. And she's there all stushy with her flip. So she's like, and you're not aware that we're in a lockdown. Is this really necessary? Like, you know, because we're only supposed to be doing, what kind of businesses was it? Like, had to
Essential.
be essential.
Yeah,
That was it. That
essential
was. Is this an essential thing? I went, well, I'm sure it's essential to them and their bills.
And Summers.
And Summers, yeah. It's a commercial shoot. They're still selling it. It's a commercial, you know, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they left. And the guy that brought them up, the security for the mill that brought them up, apparently afterwards they were saying to him, what kind of studio is that? Like, because it looked dodgy. But at the time, we couldn't do anything else. The singers couldn't get away with, singers didn't have any money. They were all on lockdown, and obviously they weren't gigging, so they didn't have any money. So we had to sort of diversify, and it opened us up to shooting anything. We would shoot, mate. I shot a dog getting wanked off.
Yeah. No, I shot.
I shit you not. I went to this place called Smart Breeder, and I had to film a dog getting tugged off by this guy. And do you know what? The funny thing is, they brought this bitch out, and the dog was not bothered.
The dog.
Yeah, the male dog was not bothered as soon as this. And then the guy pulled a blue glove out.
Yeah.
Blue glove. And as soon as he saw the glove, he was like dead excited. Yeah. So
'cause I
obviously that's how they breed those dogs. And
Should
yeah.
make a note of that. 'Cause, it should
Why was
specify
that
what
with you?
it was.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, they were breeding these dogs. So it wasn't some sort of fetish why I was filming a dog.
Good from Ann Summers
Yeah,
to that.
Yeah.
So anyway,
transition.
but basically I was doing what I had to make ends meet
Yeah,
at the
well,
time.
yeah.
So was the guy.
Yeah.
And and do you know what though? I've got to say it was it was good in a way. It taught me that I didn't have to be so focused on one niche to earn money. While I was off and the studio was closed, I was designing from home. I was doing all these little silly competitions, and still I was making as much as I was when the studio was open. I think it really taught me a lot about working, and I beforehand, like I was saying, we'd get to the studio at 7:00 and not leave till 7:00. And I realised I didn't have to always put so many hours in, at work. I could, stay at home a bit more. But then we went back, lockdown ended, and Roger Anners said, "Oh, your contract's coming up to an end. We need to have a sit down." I'm like, "Oh, here we go." Because before, so they got me in there, I think, initially at 300 quid, then it went up. And I'd said to the guys that sold me the property, well, didn't sell it, but rented it to me, I'd said, "Look, will this change? Because it's a big unit. I was already set up in another one. It's a big unit." And I'm like, "It's going to cost me a lot to set it up." And they were like, "No, it's you're safe there for at least 10, 15 years. I'm like, "Okay, sweet." So I'll take it. And then I found out that they didn't have any right to say that because it wasn't their unit to rent out. They were subletting the whole floor. And mine wasn't included in their sublet. So Roger Anners then put the rent up, and they wanted a stupid amount, and I said no, and then we agreed on a certain amount, and then I left, lockdown, paid all the rent up front for 18 months, and then come back, and they wanted a meeting, contracts up, okay, and then they wanted to put it up from, I think it was like 800 a month, and they wanted to put it up to like 2,700 a month.
That's when you started doing well.
Yeah, as soon as we'd start, they'd come in, didn't they, and they'd seen that we'd done it up, and they were like,
straight after the refurb, they had a walk round and wanted to see what we'd done in the studio. And I honestly believe they opened the doors and walked in and thought, they're not going to leave here because they've spent a lot of money. And
Little did they know.
yeah, well, that was it. And they wanted to put the rent up again. So I was like, "No, I can't do that." And I'm like, "Why have you put it up that much?" And they're like, "It's just market value of the properties now. After lockdown, apparently, commercial rent just went through the roof. Went stupid." So
Yeah, they did take the piss a little bit, though, didn't they? With that?
and that was when Mark had come along during lockdown. We decided
the old,
because we went over to Sorrento.
No, you went.
Sorrento.
No, you went to
Santorini.
Santorini.
Good old Mark Copeland of Envision Images.
Yeah, you should have been here, really. We've only got 4 mics, so. And so I'd said to Mark, "Look, I need to get out of here," because at this point, I was moaning to you all the time and just working to pay the rent. And it took the joy out of it. I didn't want to go to work anymore. I was getting sort of into a state where I was just wanting to stay at home and ignore it and hide. So we built this garden room at home, and I was doing bits of recording from there. And Anyway, then I said to Matt, like, "I've decided we're going to have to move out." So we started looking for somewhere else. He brought me, we looked at loads of places, but to cut it short, he brought me here to this studio. And it was just...
an old function room.
Yeah, it was, mate. It was an old function room from like the 1970s that hadn't been used, the walls, mate. It looked like they'd been painted with diarrhea.
Pictures of it, yeah.
So what was the plan? I remember you said, it'll take us about 3 weeks to turn this place
About a
around.
month, yeah.
Well, it was longer than that, I think, wasn't it?
Nearly 4 months.
Yeah, three, 4 months,
but
wasn't
it was
it?
just so much. We didn't realise that we had to rewire all the electrics. We had to have a whole new consumer unit put in. The cables were obviously rated for whatever, and they had to be refitted. We had to build a new multi-set, put new walls in. We had to try and cram what we essentially had in, what's the last studio? 2,000 square metres.
Yeah.
It
was
a
big.
big place into this, which is just a long, narrow
Half the size.
corridor. It's not even half the size.
So
But anyway.
going from, obviously, when StreetStar first started out to where it is today, both of you, did you ever sort of imagine it would be how big it is, the brand as a whole?
I mean, we'd hoped, but in a different sense. It was never intended. Otherwise, I'd have chose something different than StreetStar. StreetStar is not the name for the kind of stuff that we do at all. Like,
maybe now. But
yeah,
back
that's
then-
what I
back
mean.
then,
It's
yeah.
not.
It's gone past just the name. Doesn't.
Yeah,
It's
it doesn't
really
really
not
matter.
matter
So
anymore.
what's this?
no,
Maybe
it's-
thinking about a rebranding name here.
Well,
yeah?
we was going to rebrand last year, but so we was going to go Empire Media, but like Alex was saying earlier, to retain StreetStar and StreetStar by Empire sort of thing. But because I want to still have sort of some grand designs in my head about different things that I want to do. We've alongside the first studio in Stockport, this one, we've had other studios. We've got the Birmingham at Block Switch, StreetStar Midlands, StreetStar Live over in Lincolnshire, and these were sort of set up by Keith again. He built a few studios, hadn't he, mate? But these were other people that had been to us and then thought, wow, that's great. I'd love that job. Yeah. I want to set one up. And they've called me to ask me, oh, how would you do this if you set... I'm like, he's taking a piss. Right. I don't know why I'm doing that. I'm like, do you know what? It's better the devil you know. So we decided we'll let them use the StreetStar.
Like franchise
it out. Yeah. And we would pay for the fit out as well. Yeah. We'd go kit the studio out, buy all the computers, the speakers, the mics, the everything, like literally down to the carpet on the stage and the curtains on the backdrops. Yeah. Just completely kit them out. And then hopefully they don't fit, and they're not very good.
I was going to say, I mean, even though we've got the one down in Birmingham, obviously there's Live over in Lincoln. Yeah. That's closed down at the minute.
Yeah, that's closed down, unfortunately.
But we still have people coming from all the way down south to the HQ of StreetStar, which is here in Manchester.
Yeah, and that's only because of it's only as good as the team, and people from Birmingham will bypass StreetStar Midlands because they just don't know it's there. For one, for two, a lot of people know personally from the Midlands the guy that essentially runs the place, and they see him as one thing, not as, do you know what I mean? Someone that runs a studio, they see him as something else. So that's going to be difficult. But at the same time, I wouldn't have an issue. I could go there and
so I think it's a bit I'm not going to big you up too much, but there's one thing I've always admired about Dom is I think the best way to sum it up is he can read a room really well and read people and know how to speak to different people. Everybody's different, everybody's unique. Yeah. And you need to know within seconds how to address somebody, how to speak to them. And Dom's always been really good. And I'm not even in a way of like, not hard-nosed sales or anything like that. Just knows how to speak to people.
I've always found that, I think that comes from
puts them at ease.
Diverse sort of family background. My mum, my dad, on my dad's side, I could go and sit down with nasty people and be a certain way. And with my mum, she'd take me to like really nice top-end restaurants and with a different sort of caliber and class of people, and I can get on with both. And in a way, apply that to selling anything. Yeah,
really. Like I was going full circle with the sort of formative training that you can't. It's only so much you can learn at these places. You can be the most certified recording. Have all of the certificates and the knowledge and everything, but if you don't know how to speak to someone and make them feel at ease when they're coming to do something like this, it's just it's really difficult.
That's one of the things that gone. What were you saying, Keith?
I was just going to say, to add on to what Alex was saying about Dom, the way he can converse with all different people at different ages, is also his work ethics. If he wants to take pictures, he wants to do the best pictures. If he wants to do video, he wants the best video, but he doesn't want to repeat the videos. He wants to try and change for everybody, and that just shows the professionalism.
Yeah, a bit of a perfectionist in the best sense possible.
And it is. And I love the name StreetStar Studios. I think that sums up everything from where they've come from. From the street of singing, rapping. I know they weren't buskers, but it comes, that type of music, rappers, as you see it, and the star, that's what they want to be. They want to be stars and recording in studios.
Yeah, that was initially the reason we went with StreetStar.
No, we just added the elite on the end of it.
I just think it's a fabulous name. It shouldn't be changed.
I think that's why we've not changed it, because it's got roots, and
Yeah, no, I agree.
Rolls off the tongue as well, nice to know.
Unless you've got
an empire. An empire. No.
I think going back to
That
what you
sounds
said,
like a catalogue.
yeah. I don't quite like Empire.
It used to be a jazz mag, didn't it?
No, it was a catalogue.
Wasn't it?
Would you say sort of
Empire
your street stars are
stores.
like you might, well, I'll get back to that. But as you were saying before about
That's showing me age.
Dom knowing how to talk to, not just clients, but people in general.
Yeah.
It's like we say a lot when clients come through the door, even though we like to keep a high professional standard, we also like to have a laugh because
Yeah,
we
of
love what
course.
we do.
Yeah.
And, we like to, instead of, we don't want to be as serious and make people feel like these guys are not really serious. They're, we're human beings at the end of the day. We're not just people behind a camera or behind the other side of a booth.
That's
We like
right,
to have
and
a
I think
laugh.
that's what people like about
I think that's
StreetStar
one of the
Studios.
reasons, yeah. Like,
We've always tried to make them feel welcome.
that's it.
And
Yeah, they have a go at me though for speaking to the clients when they get here for half an hour in the morning.
and Cam, yeah, it's because they want to get on with the job and go home.
I think if you're going to work with good people, good morally good people, you're going to get good results.
Yeah.
that's-
And at StreetStar Stockport, when we were at Stockport, some of the people that came in there were absolutely fabulous. I loved it there.
I do miss
because
that place.
we had an event
With all the metal pool
lounge.
table.
Well, it wasn't that. We had the event lounge and
Yeah.
the bar. And the bar was
And we had some nights there.
like
didn't
my
we?
little baby.
Yeah, he loved the bar.
He loved the
because-
bar, being behind the
and
bar.
especially on ladies' night.
Yeah.
Oh, ladies' night. Oh,
Remember
my
one night
God.
we had ladies' night and I was DJing.
No,
Yeah.
nothing like
I was
Alice,
DJing
Alex,
and I'm like,
nothing like
first one to get the shirt off the barman.
I remember
free
that, yeah.
bottle of schnapps or
Yeah.
free bottle of champagne or
He
something.
actually said, "Right, girls, first one to get the first one to get the barman, my bar manager, and the photographer naked,
it, yeah.
free drinks."
I
Well,
said naked.
my shirt left my body in
took it
3
off yourself,
seconds.
didn't
In 3 seconds, and honestly, there was two girls going to strip me naked, and I just said, "If you take my trousers off, your dress is coming off." And she put her arms out and said, "The zip's on
Bring
the
it
back."
on.
Luckily, she got knocked over, so I jumped over and grabbed my
Luckily.
shirt and locked myself behind the bar.
That's not the first time
No,
you said
honestly,
that
like-
sentence either, is it?
Keith, I mean, I'm
Oh.
not going to say how old he is, but he's not 25, and he's going. He went
Unfortunately.
up to the office. I think he was going to the safe.
Oh,
wasn't he?
yeah.
And there was a couple of like 25-year-old girls, and they just stopped him, and they're like, "Hey up."
Unbelievable.
Oh, do you know, Keith?
Because it's ladies' night. There's a lot of flipping Chippendales
Uh-huh.
there with chainsaws with the knobs swinging about. Everyone, the wet floor
dangerous
signs were out. I know. I know. But like, yeah, trying to get.
Where are
on.
you going?
Girls are worse
To
than
the
lads.
office.
Girls are worse than
Yeah,
lads.
they are.
You're getting naked
there was
when
twins-
you come
there was
past
twins
us.
that were there.
Crazy.
You are.
Remember those twins that night? I don't really remember.
Yes. Yeah, I do. I remember the twins. I think it was very unfair that you only banged one of them.
I didn't bang any of them.
But yeah, Stockport Studios
Just worried about
was
his mum watching this. She didn't
No,
listen
no,
to
was
it.
fabulous. We had the entertainment lounge.
It was great.
Yeah, so obviously StreetStar today, or as it was then, obviously when you look on Facebook pages like the Circle, that Entertainment, Accident Entertainment, people always asking where's the best place for promo and stuff like that, and you always see Dom Sabine, StreetStar. It's almost on nearly every comment.
You know, that
You get the
annoyed
odd
me.
few.
That
That
annoyed me.
annoyed
a
you?
little
Oh,
bit.
you wanted it to be StreetStar, not Dom
Yeah.
Sabine.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, because I thought if I ever sort of not left, not that I'd leave, but if ever it was an excuse for someone that I'd put in to run it to say, well, the reason it's not doing so well is because you're not here and it's you that but I mean, it's one of them. Yeah, proud.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah, still
as
proud.
you too, are you proud of sort of the business and
Yeah,
brand as where it is today and
100%. It's great to see
what you've built,
that
basically?
No, it's not just me. It's not
No,
just me.
you
It's
both of you.
Keith,
Yeah,
Alex,
all of us, yeah.
You, everyone.
Well, me as well, yeah.
Everyone's put something in.
Contributed, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, I think the reason people will always recommend us and advocate us is because of what we provide them with.
Yeah.
We don't lie. We give them a good service, a good quality product, and it does.
Quality's really,
Yeah.
it's really
And it
high
is the quality.
Yeah.
Quality's definitely
And-
changed from
And
what it was.
yeah, I mean, everyone grows.
Yeah.
And originally, as I say, it was a black. Like we just,
I know you
we were
take-
learning.
You take pride in I mean, another thing that you've done as well that other people might not necessarily do is, you know, for a long time you didn't take a wage either, and you put
No.
all the money back into it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you always, I mean, just the equipment that's filming us now and recording us is the very top end
Yeah.
equipment.
Mm-hmm.
You make
And that's-
sure you got the best.
That goes back to when they first started the Stockport studio. The lads there, like Dom said, all they were there for was the money.
Sure.
And when there was an event on, they wanted paying. Well, all that money had to go back in because it had been spent.
Yeah.
I mean, he couldn't. None of it was profit.
But it was the best thing that you could have done.
Yeah, for a long
put it
time,
back.
You've got
we
to
were
with
living
business,
on Lisa's wage. Like, I had nothing coming in, but yeah, no. So yeah, I'm proud that all that sort of sacrificial shit was worth it, and yeah, really happy with the brand sort of position.
Yeah. I suppose I think the last question I've got for you both is what's next for StreetStar? What have you got planned for future?
Somewhat huge,
Something
and
huge.
it's honestly gonna readdress like the problem that we have now, and you fully know. We come up with something, and you know we've got our competition. Olibo was there when in the last studio, brilliant at what they do. You know, or did I don't know if they're still going. I know the Olibo and Flair got together and they've done like they're doing productions and stuff like that. I think they've moved on to like different stuff and a lot more. They're diversified what they're doing. But when StreetStar Stockport was in effect, they were our main competition.
Yeah.
And you know, and it wasn't a bad thing. I think competition is a good thing, and it made us better because they were better than us. I'll admit it. Like I don't care. They were better than us at that time, you know, and it just only aided my efforts in bettering myself and the studio, what we
Made
offer.
you hungry for it.
Yeah, exactly. If it wasn't for them, I don't think we would have ever tried to get better.
Yeah.
No, I would have. I can't say that. But, you know, now I don't even consider any of the studios that are about competition. We lead the market.
I mean, the
Easy.
teaser trailer's definitely was but
Yeah,
like
we
you said,
started.
we started
We
it and
started the
we've seen-
teaser trailer. Now, the problem that we have is all the other studios that do promo for singers. You know, and there's some good ones and some bad ones, and I won't mention any names, but they just copy what we
It's
do.
the same format, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just saying like a
Anything we come up with that's new, it gets done. Like within days or weeks. Like you see other studios copying it.
Well, imitation is the best form of flattery.
yeah.
To an
To an
extent.
extent. But it means you do
Yeah.
it. Do
Yeah,
it.
that's
Yeah,
it.
means we're doing something right, but again, we've
So
got to keep
now-
moving the goalposts, haven't we?
We've been trying to move the goalposts and change things up, but the goalposts are only being able to be moved like a few foot. Do you know what I mean? There's not much different that you can do unless you go ridiculous, and that's what we're doing next. And the next thing is, and I don't mind even letting people know what it is because they're not going to be able to do it. They're not going to want to
what's
make
the
the
space, I'd say?
sacrifice.
Yeah, let's keep it to their imagination.
No,
think,
I
and
want to
it's-
tell them.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, let's see what we got.
because if they can do it, then you know.
So
It cost them
yeah.
more than they're willing to do.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you've told a few clients that have come
For
in. not
me,
what
yeah,
what
that's
you're
it.
going to do next. So
and that's the difference between us and other people. For me, this is a way of life. It's everything. It is my life. It's been my life since I met Alex on the radio station. You know, it's been honestly, like it's everything to me. It's not just a sort of chosen career. It's
I want to know now. What
yeah.
is it?
So the planet is now. I mean, me and my wife, we've just had a little baby girl, as you know, and the house is too small. It was too small when it was just us. I have a really bad sort of affliction for buying shit. Like I go to a car boot every Sunday, and we just buy crap. So the house is just jam full, really good stuff. But yeah, I've got too much. I mean, my trainer collection, like
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I've got I think 80 pairs of trainers in boxes. Like
was for
still-
every new pair you buy, you got to throw out 3, is it?
No, well, that was
Has
a
that
rule,
changed now?
but it never happened.
Oh,
I
okay.
just donate them to you now.
yeah. Well, yeah.
But
Not your trainers. But
but no, so I'm digress. So the plan is that we're on the hunt for a house in the countryside. We're looking at Shropshire, like Midlands sort of ish, and we're looking for a house with a few acres of land, and we're going to build the studio on our own land basically. But that would be the same as what we do here. You know, the difference is we're also building cabins. We're building a sauna and a gym and a swimming pool. We're having on-site vocal rehabilitation and coaching. We're bringing in guest speakers, like big names in the industry. And we're going to do fortnightly sort of retreats. So singers, songwriters, artist
Little
retreats.
spas.
They can come. Yeah, they have basically a spa, a musical spa week. So we're going to do, I think, 2 and 4 day sort of visits, basically retreat day, weeks. And we're going to have an outdoor. You'll be happy to know we're definitely going to have a pool table, but we're going to have an outdoor bar pergola with pool table, Keith's bar, obviously.
Guy's the barman.
We're going to have pizzas and food, big banqueting place, and it's just going to be the new home of music in this country. Like, honestly, it's just going to take. We'll still do the promo. We'll have a couple of bands for country music singers. We'll have different sets because we get to build the studio ourselves. It'd be huge. Huge sort of what do you call it, like cattle barn sort of thing.
This will be your biggest project to date, Keith.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
It'll be StreetStar Studios, just expanded.
yeah.
We'll have StreetStar Studios where artists can come. If they want to stay overnight, there'll be somewhere for them to stay.
Yeah, I mean, they can hear.
If they want to book,
they can stay here at the
Yeah, well,
hotel.
it's
can't
hotel.
if
they?
they want to book the spa
No,
packages.
I think it's
This is a whole experience that we're going to give them.
Something we spoke about for a while. We're doing
Yeah.
it in Spain. But
Yeah.
it's been really difficult since, as well, since the lockdown in the last few years. It's been Spain took a huge hit, and it's only just coming back up now. But we were talking about the possibility of doing that.
Yeah.
So, but to do it here,
Yeah, well,
as
we've got meeting when you go back.
Yeah, to still do it there as well, to branch out as well.
Yeah,
StreetStar
so we can send singers from here to Spain, not just to get the promo done, but to have a couple of jobs while they're there to sing, include
gigs in
accommodation,
hotels and
a
stuff.
couple of gigs, makes it a bit more worthwhile, and they get accommodation and whatnot. So that's something that, you know, we want to always keep expanding. But the point for me is now having a family. I really want to be able to. I mean, you know, the hours we put in here can be ridiculous. Sometimes we can be here for a 14-hour day, and not to see my daughter and the missus, eventually that's going to weigh on them. And to be able to just get out of bed, fall into work, same for the singer that we've got at the time, you know, as well, to then maybe come out for a bit of fresh air and see my daughter at work, that'd be great for me. And not only that, it'd be good for Rosabella to learn as well what I do, and hopefully she can maybe, you know,
Take the brand to its next location.
you never know. You never know. But yeah, that's the thing that, and I don't think many other people will be able to compete with that level of promo. Like, these are rented places. I mean, we're going to keep this on anyway, and because for a lot of the crew that work here, they won't be able to travel to where I'm moving it. So,
I think with that place,
where
it's
I'm
the
going.
attention to detail that a lot of people won't, you know, a lot of production companies won't think about.
yeah, so these are rented, and you've seen the level of what I'm willing to invest on a rented place. Imagine my own property.
Yeah.
That's going to be completely just off the charts. Like, I'm going to go stupid. Sorry, Keith. But yeah, I mean, the stuff that we're going to offer there, there's not going to be any competition for that. Which
I'm really looking forward to seeing
me too.
how that pans out, and how the dream comes in.
Not only that, but 9 times out of 10 here, I'm sat on my desk most of the time, sat down editing posters or doing the audio or whatever. And the next place, I'm going to have a gym, so I won't have any excuse. Yeah, there's going to be a gym there, which I think, you know,
Danny will be happy.
yeah, but like, not just for the music either. So the cabins, we're going to have cabins for crew and cabins for people that are coming visiting. The people that come and visit, we're going to have stuff that's sort of extracurricular, like that's not so much to do with music, but like horse riding and archery and stuff like that. That, you know, they can go and have a retreat. They can work with a songwriter or producer and get their song written and produced. And then the next day they can go for a ride on the horses. And I was thinking, you know, it might be an idea to, like, I watched this retreat thing with Nicole Kidman. I don't know if you've seen it, but they take all the phones off them when they get there, take all the tech off them. And I was like, oh, that'd be such a good idea. Just get rid, like, a tech-free sort of music experience. But
we
I don't
kinda need,
know.
aren't
Most
we?
of the clients that we have in, they love selfies in the booth and all that. So
It's a mini resort then. As
yeah, a
well.
little resort, but for music,
Yeah.
in the countryside. Obviously, you've got a bit of naff weather here. It'd be so much better in Spain, but it's a bit of a commute.
Yeah. Well,
um,
maybe that's the next one.
yeah, well, you never know. Never know. But yeah, that is the next step in StreetStar's little
Little
world.
venture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Other than that, don't know. Just carry on being the best at what
Carry
we
on,
do.
yeah,
like
no.
smashing it.
I mean, it always surprises me with the stuff that we end up doing,
Mm.
in a good way. Oh, not like what were you thinking of?
Well, we were thinking of getting into like OnlyFans stuff, but we've not done, and that is because, well, recently we've not had a day off, have we? From singers, we have a singer in every day.
Every day.
Like we don't play at it. We're not. Some of our competitors, they have like I think I was telling you last night, 4 to 8 a month, a couple a week. If they're lucky, we have it
Got
every
clients
day.
every day. Doing the
much.
teaser trailers and some weddings as well.
And we look after him. That's I think why we get a lot of repeat customers here, and that's we offer incentives. We we give money off to return customers. We don't give it off to new
That's it.
customers.
I mean,
New
tomorrow,
customers pay full whack, and then as soon as they're a customer, an
Yeah, but
existing
you've got the
customer.
giveaways now as well for new customers.
Yeah, that's
giveaways,
something, and that's another thing the competitors just can't do. They can't afford that. We're giving away £500 or a £700 microphone this month. Like they just. So, and we was trying to come up with idea. Me and Alex were talking last night. What can we do for the next one? I was thinking of a Bose L system, like full PA system, or a holiday to Spain. Like just give away a holiday.
Nick, I'm
Singers
saying with you.
need holidays
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Why not?
But
who it is.
that's going to be something that we have to decide every month now. Like what can we give away? But we've got the margins now to do that, and to see, like you say, to see it come from DJing for 30% of a bar take to I'm not going to divulge the turnover here, but it's decent. Do you know what I mean? So we can afford to do that now, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's pretty much it. Unless anyone wants to add anything.
I just want to say it's been fabulous working at StreetStar. While I've been here.
It's been fabulous just sat here.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
I think
I might as well take hold of the mic
Fill
now.
the space,
Yeah.
haven't you?
And yeah, I've met some wonderful people.
that's another thing.
The singers are amazing.
We do have a lot of fantastic people that we meet.
Yeah, there are.
Some arseholes as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I've not
Even
met
some of the
many
people that
them,
come and
but,
work here.
Well, yeah, there is one.
Yeah, there's a lot less than
But
that.
no, we've met some fabulous singers, lovely people,
Yeah.
and they are genuine, lovely people.
Well, I suppose that's another thing as well. StreetStar wouldn't be what it is without the people that come
No,
visit
that
us. So
support us, and it's all right. You can put the work in. You can have all the gear.
no idea.
Yeah, you can have all the gear. We didn't have any idea. Well,
Yeah.
you can have all the gear and offer the service, but if you're not sort of, treating people right,
It's
they're not
something
gonna
I've
come.
learned recently as well. I know it's quite a cliche thing to say, but I'm finding it to be true. I've had occasions in my life when I've been overwhelmed by negativity and things, and I've found that I will attract negativity. And I think I'm sort of not veering off topic too much, but I believe we're all sort of magnets to, if we push out positivity, you just get it back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which is
100%.
most
Yeah, I
likely
agree.
why the vast majority of the people that come and work here are really positive, because of the positivity that's being emitted.
Yeah.
It just comes back and it just ends up in just a
Yeah,
sort of a
100%.
circle of just really, good things.
100%. When I left Spain, when you dropped me off at the airport, not long after that, me and the ex, we broke up, and I was literally gone from having the time of my life in Spain, DJing on weekends and doing what we did, to I was on my uncle's sofa. Literally, I remember having 20 quid in my pocket, and that was it. I had a laptop and 2 studio monitors, and that was it. And I got myself into a rut of negative sort of thinking, and thinking
It's easy
"Oh,
to
I'm
get
never
like
gonna
that,
get
isn't
out
it,
of
when you're in that
Yeah.
position?
yeah. I don't know what it was. I think one day I just sort of thought, I need to do something. And that was, but I think over time it was just positivity. I don't like saying that word. People use it really
People
spiritually
throw it
now.
around a lot, don't
But
they?
it's not that. It's just literally, I think you become what you think.
Yeah.
you know, and 100%, I had an idea in my head of the possibilities associated with the things I'd learned, you know, and applying that in, and I thought, can do this. And if you think that way, I think anyone can do anything.
I see it as well. The times I don't get to come here too often, but the times I've come here, I see people walk through the door. I see, you know, they're nervous. It's a big day for them. They're not unsure of what the process is going to be, what the outcome's going to be, and I see them within seconds change and just a smile on their face, and the amount of, you know, gratitude they have at the end of the day for everybody that works here is a really nice thing from a slightly outside perspective to see as well, and to see them. And I'm sure you've become really close friends with a lot of the people as well. You know, they've become, and especially the ones that come back and want more promo, and there's a reason for it. And it's not just because, I mean, just tick all the boxes. It's not just because of the equipment and the quality. It's, you know, the people.
Yeah, it's like your brother. He was a client. You know,
he was.
He was a good friend. He's coming tonight, actually. After this,
he's not, is he?
Yeah. After this little podcast, we've got a bit of a party downstairs, a little shindig for the crew and a couple of friends, and yeah, he's coming.
You're gonna sing?
Not in mine. I keep coughing, mate.
Play the guitar.
I might do. It depends how many more of these you get down.
Get the guitar out as well.
I can. That's even worse than that would have had a drink.
But yeah,
do you know where I'm on a G string though? Yeah.
A minor.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, I think that pretty much that wraps it up then. Thanks for
Alex has just flown over from Spain.
I was going to say thanks for flying over from Spain and doing this with us, Alex. Thanks for joining us as well,
podcast.
Keith.
Actually, do you know what? I just feel like we just completely just hashed over the Spain period, and there was so much more to it. But I mean, a
lot of it's just not a distant.
That'd be a
memory,
series, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'd have to really, you know, there's some things that are just it's a bit,
but you can get away
crazy,
with
some of the things that we.
I did say about some questions about what did you want to talk about specifically over in Spain, but you're like, no.
Well, that's it. Like, you know, I think at the time the missus was in there as well, and some things are just best left where they are. But no, great times, and as I say, it was home to me for a long time, and well, it will be always in a sense. Yeah, and I don't think you're ever going to move over here now.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Actually,
you're mad if you do.
What do you think? Obviously, StreetStar's been going for what? How many years? 14 years or something? 12?
2010, yeah.
So where could you see where it would be in another 14 years' time, for example? I know you've got plans for, you know, the whole resort kind of thing, but you know that's within the near future, isn't it?
The retreat, the resort. I don't know. I like the resort. That might be cool. So no. I just you don't know, and you can have hopes for where you would want it to go. Like I would want the resort, as you say, to do really well, and I'm sure that will grow in its own way. But you just never know what's around the corner. You know, might be World War III coming up. You don't know.
Might have been buying a club.
Yeah. Well, COVID, do you know what? Now, I think as I've matured a bit more, the ideas of I wanted the bar, I wanted a live cabaret club with the tables and the lamps and an old school vibe to it. You know, there's just no money in it now. There's not that I would only do it for the money, but it's hard work as well.
It's hard work. Oh, I think it'd work.
It would. But what I mean is, they just like the electric now even just on this hotel went from like 9,000 a month or something to like 30, and that commercial bills now are just ridiculous. People are just like, one of our good friends that we work for in Poynton a lot, their overheads after lockdown quadrupled. You know, there's pubs, bars and everything. I think there was 7 a day closing, something like that. It's ridiculous. It's be daft to open one now, unless you've got like I say, like in this industry, but apply to that, a niche that you can offer something that's different. It's not going to work.
If you can take an established business and expand it, yes, but starting off a new branch is tough.
There's Venue 23, I think they're Yorkshire based. They're a live music venue, and they've just started doing promo at the venue. We'd have to do that backwards. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And but it's not really something I'm wanting to do at this point. Now I'm more focused on.
Man, isn't it how much in a few years can change? It's from the ideas that you have planned, and it's what you actually end up doing.
It's just matter of circumstances all. And now I know that the retreat side, so there's a couple of other retreats. There's one in Spain, in Seville, and there's one in Sorrento. I'm getting that one, in Italy. And, you know, they charge like €7,000 for you to go and spend a few days there. Yeah. Like, that is crazy money. And people are paying it. Oh, there's one in Thailand that, can't remember the girl that we used to do promo for. She was young and she's been on BBC Radio now, and you know her. We did a couple of music videos for her and album covers. Yeah. What's her flipping name? She did a tribute as well.
Was she from Thailand?
No, she went over there on a music retreat. And they just pay fortunes for it. And, you know, I'm not all about the money, although it's my income. So I'm not going to charge £7,000, obviously. But what we will offer will have to outweigh what they offer, because, number one, it's in England and it's fucking cold. And, you know, I'm just going to have to offer more, basically. Better.
Yeah.
But that's what we do.
Our idea as well for the Spain thing was always to offset some of the cost as well, with the artists coming over and performing there as well.
Yeah.
And getting paid for a couple of gigs in hotels, etc., whilst they're there for the week.
Yeah.
To to alleviate the cost as well. That's something
that will definitely. Spain will happen. It's just
it's just been tough last couple of years, but looks like we've found somewhere.
Yeah.
Definitely a good possibility anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, for now, that's pretty much it. You know, to answer your question, in 14 years, I don't know. Don't know where it's going to go.
I didn't expect you to have an answer. I just thought you never know, do you?
No.
See,
it's one of those type of things. It grows by itself.
Yeah.
It goes in a direction. You know, it's who you know and the people you meet that help you along the way. You know, we've started doing these now. We've had councillors in for podcasts, and now the party leader for one of the local councils wants to use it 3 times a week. That is now encouraging me to open a standalone podcast studio. You know, that's another thing in different. You just don't know what's around the corner, and that's why I love it. I think why I really like what we do. Yeah, you know, people are, even within StreetStar, you've seen hundreds. Well, not hundreds, but you've seen people come and go here. And that's because they can't live not knowing what's next or what they're doing, or, you know, at least, you know, how much money they're making at the end of the month. If you have a tough month, you don't earn as much. It's not like a 9 to 5 where you just get paid the same wage for whatever you do. And for me, I like that.
Yeah, it's so much work you put in.
That's it. Yeah, heavily influences what you get out.
And in 14 years' time, Rosabella will be nearly 15, and she'll be telling Dad, "This is where you need to go."
Yeah,
this is the.
Is that scary?
So
thought
that might
thinking when
change.
she's going to be 15. No, not telling her what to do, but man, she'll be 15.
When she's 15, I'll be 50.
Shit.
Crazy. Yeah, you'll be dead. I'm joking. You gotta outlive me.
Hopefully not, people. Hopefully not.
No, I mean, yeah, it's one of them.
But I might be getting pushed around in a wheelchair.
Can't be 40.
It'll have to be one with big, thick wheels on that farm on the resort, won't it?
Brill. Well, I think shall we wrap it up there?
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
No, it's
at
this is your studio, so
Thanks for having us.
So I mean, I've been Ryan Bailey. This is Alex George. We've been joined as well by Keith Davis over in the corner, and obviously the one and only Dom Sabine. Thanks for watching.